Good morning, everybody. It's been a while since we've done a video, but today we're going to be talking about, you know, trip planning and how to foresee a lot of things that are unexpected out in the world of trucking. I'll show you right now in a second what we're talking about, but stay tuned. And this is what I'm talking about. Weather, something that we do not have control over whatsoever. And it always adds unexpected time to our day. So how do we plan for something like this? So how do we plan for something like this? Well, there's no real answer to that. We can all say, oh, about 8 o'clock in the morning, the weather's going to clear and we're going to be fine. Actually, Mother Nature has the last saying in that. All we can do is anticipate what can happen, you know, by listening to weather channels, by listening to road conditions, going on Caltrans or Highway Patrol websites to see what are the road conditions and plan according to all that. It's good to know, you know, what's going on the route that you're going, because that's one of the key factors when you are trip planning. So let's trip plan this load that I'm currently on. My plan was to start my day yesterday. I'm a 10 a.m. out on my first day, and I got a load going from Shafter, California to my first stop is in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is a total of 310 miles. So the average, we got to keep we're going to talk about how many hours is going to take us to get there. We already told you how many miles it is from Shafter, California to Las Vegas, Nevada, 310 miles. So I'm going to be talking about how I trip plan and what works for me. So first point that we need to know when trip planning: where are we going and where we are going to be ending. In other words, where are we going to go offload, or where are we going to be arriving at? We know it's from Shafter, California to Las Vegas, Nevada, and we know that it is a total of 310 miles. So now that we know that, my second point is how heavy am I? How heavy is my trailer? My total gross weight. Well, the heavier you are, the slower you're going to be going, depending if we got grades. And in this case, we do have grades that we got to clear. So my total gross weight was 42,000 on the load. A truck and trailer combination, I think it came out about 76 something. Almost, yes, about 76 something. So I knew that one, I was gonna be pretty heavy going up these grades. Two, I was gonna be consuming a fair more amount of diesel than I would if I was a little bit lighter. And three, I knew that I had to go over passes, and I knew I was gonna have to deal with the wind. So with that being said, I like, here in California, speed limit is 55 miles an hour. I like to always set myself up for at 50 miles an hour, which will average me out on how long it takes. So you know that I started my day, that I had to be out at 10 a.m. I started my clock at 9 in the morning. So 9 in the morning. I had to do my pre-trip and my paperwork and picking up my trailer. It took me about 30 minutes total to do pre-trip on my truck and my trailer, paperwork, and start heading out the gate. So I'm out the gate about 9:30. That's when my real time starts, right there of driving. But here in the state of California, you got to remember we have to take a lunch break at or before our 5th hour of our day. So we're keeping that in mind. So I have already told you that we are 310 miles. So if you divide 310 divided by 50 miles an hour, it would average you out at about 6.25 hours, I believe. I like to just put it at 6.5 hours because, first of all, you got terrains that we're gonna be going over. Second of all, we already know that we're heavy. But here goes the third point that I had not told you. We need to know if we need to fuel up or not. In this case, I had to fuel up, and I knew that I was going to stop at a certain location down the road, which is about 120 miles from my location. So I like to stop there and get my coffee and everything. So typically, if I know I left at 9:30 and I told you it will be 6.5 hour drive to Vegas, if you do the calculation right, that sets us in at about 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. But here we go. We have to add our lunch break, and we have to add our fueling. Our lunch break is 30 minutes. Fueling usually takes me about 15 minutes, but by the time I get in, get my receipt, get my coffee and everything, 30 minutes. So we're adding another hour. So now I have to arrive. I'll be arriving there at 5. So I'll set my computer. I'll let dispatch know, hey, I'm going to be arriving at my first stop at 5. But I know Las Vegas very well, and you're going to hit traffic during that time. It might not be a whole lot, but it's some. So now I am going to give them 30 more minutes. I know that the speed limit, once we hit a Nevada state line, it goes up to 65, and it's pretty much flat ground all the way into Las Vegas. So I mean, I'll make up some time, but still, we are still calculating at 50 miles an hour because we never know what happens out on the road. So I'll be telling them that we will be going to get there at about 5:30 to my first stop. So now the store knows exactly when I'll be arriving there. I might be getting there by that time or sooner if I make up any time. But typically, I've already given them a heads up. That's how I'm trip planning. A lot of people like to write this down. It's fine. There's nothing. I have nothing against it to write things down. It's actually a lot simpler. I use this method because over the years you get used to it, and you already know. Boom! I'm gonna be there by this time. I have to do this. I have to do that. So, whatever method works for you, you use it. Second of all, my next thing is get how many stops did I have there, and how long was it gonna take me. I had 3 stops, and they were all within, I think it was like a 5-6 mile radius. So each stop takes about 30 minutes to offload, and about 30 minutes of drive time total. So that adds about another hour and a half. So I was done by 7 p.m. and gonna get ready to leave there. But remember, I have to take 30-minute, my second 30-minute before my 10th hour here at Walmart. They require us to take a second meal break. So I take it at the store at my last stop, so I don't have to deal any more stoppage going out of on my way back to California. We already know it's going to take me a 6.5 hour drive back to California, back to Shafter, where I'm at. So I'll take my 30-minute break and I let traffic die down a little bit. So now I'm actually just going. So it's the same scenario, but now I am light. So I'll be able to make up a little bit better ground, but I'm still using the same concept to trip plan. when I will be back. Typically, I would be arriving there this morning before 10 a.m. was my calculation of when I would arrive. But given the circumstances that I just showed you, and I'm going to be go over, is the weather. I didn't expect it to be stuck up here about 45 miles, 50 miles away from Shafter due to the snow. I mean, one accident can mess up everything, but you have to be anticipating the worst at all time, and communicating with your dispatch is the number one key. Letting you know what's going on. Last night I was planning to shut down here at the same location with about a few minutes left on my 14, and about a mile from my exit there was a wreck involving 3 big rigs, which caused chaos. Long story short, I end up going about an hour and 30 minutes over my 14 to get from that 1 mile to get over here for CHPs to let us out, and having to park out on the side of the road legally and away until they reopen the highway, because they shut down the highway down due to the weather and the accident. At this point they're still clearing it out, and it is still snowing, so we have no ETD or update on when they're going to reopen. But I have contacted the dispatch, and I had let them know. I told them that I will let them know. Right now there is no update, there is no time when or what's going to happen. We are just sitting ducks at this point. But guys, I hope that this short video helps you guys on trip planning. Again, this is just what works for me. I would suggest that you write everything down. Let you watch every single video, in other words, that there's out there. Junior Honduras does a very good video. Mr. Coach also talks about trip planning. Guys, there's a lot of methods. My method is not the only way of doing things. Like I said, writing it down. Junior Honduras talks about it, and hey, that method is what works for his students, and it helps him too. I mean, it helps me too. But again, once you've done this for a few years, you fall into that comfort zone where you know that you're going to be doing this, and this, and this in a sequence. So guys, stay safe out there, and I'll leave you with this short video of what's going on.